I just went with it. My dad said, "Hey, do it the old school way first, and then I'll support you doing it in the new school way." And I just did it, mate. I just went hard, and I think it's because I had that. I think it's because I had my dad kind of saying like, "It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work." That really pushed me.
He
But now
used
looking
it.
back,
He used it as the power to do it.
yeah, man.
Today's guest is an international speaker, best-selling author, network marketing rockstar, and the absolute king at building a strong and engaged social media brand. After watching his parents earn over 8 figures in the network marketing industry, he finally decided to go all in and build his own team in 2010. And in 5 years, he was able to grow a team of over 300,000 customers using only social media. Then he decided, after having so many people reach out to him and ask how he did it, to go all in and become a generic coach, speaker, and consulting so he can change the face of the entire industry for the better. So please, guys, help me welcome the guy who went from working as a dishwasher in Liverpool, England, for £3.50 an hour to now having spoken over 30 different countries, trained over 500,000 people, and is now the author of 2 best-selling books, I Dare You and I Double Dare You. My friend, all the way from Dubai, Mr. Frazer Brookes.
Oh, mate, thanks so much for having me. That was awesome. That was like, I definitely didn't send you that bio. So I appreciate the due diligence and all of that, mate. It's a pleasure to hang out with you again and make magic happen.
Yeah, well, how many times? I think we've hung out now a few times and around the world, which is also cool, and in Vegas and Australia and stuff. So yeah, like I like to really, I get people's bios and then I research more and throw in a little bit of how I actually know them and blend it in just to bring out all the juice. So I love it, man. But I'm pumped that we get to chat here today in this wild world. But I've heard a lot about your story, but not many people do, right? They see you now. You're this speaking to stages of tens of thousands of people. You just had your massive summit on the weekend, which is incredible. You're just like this confident guy. You've created massive, massive success, but I know it all didn't really start there. So can you take everybody back? Who were you, when you finished school and university and all this, kind of before pre-network marketing and all of this?
Well, I was the guy in school. So I went to an all-boys school. So that brings its own kind of challenges, right? Because you kind of not taught and you're not naturally you're not playing kiss chase in the schoolyard. Well, if you are, you're not kissing girls, right? So it was a little bit different. So there was smaller classrooms, so it was more intimate. So if you can imagine, if there's like 40 people and you put your hand up, it's all right. It's people aren't really paying attention. But when there's like 15 people in a class, when you put your hand up, everyone's like, you see everyone's head like just turning and twisting, and all eyes on you. So I naturally became extremely introverted, really, really shy. And I didn't really open my mouth because I had really bad teeth. Like I had like really, really, really pointy kind of fangs. And then like my other teeth were kind of, mate, it was a nightmare. So every time I opened my mouth, people would just kind of make fun of me. So I just didn't open my mouth unless I was like doing athletics, like running or playing rugby. I mean, I was good at rugby when I was younger. Then everyone grew up and I didn't. So I had to end up playing hockey, which is always embarrassing, especially to speak to an Aussie crowd. But so yeah, that kind of happened, and I then went into college. And because when I moved from the school into college, there was now boys and girls involved. So it was like, oh my God, this like big wide world. I'm 16 years old, and I'm like, there's women, like boobs, yes. Like I don't just say it on a calculator and put my calculator upside down. I'm now like, oh my God, yeah, they're there, wow. So that first year of college was I'll say fun. Probably too much fun. So much so that the headmaster of the college, one of the big colleges, basically asked me to come in after my first year for a first year review and said, "Listen, we don't want your CV to look bad, but we're not gonna invite you back for the second year." I was like, "What? What are you on about? Not gonna invite me back?" Said your attendance is 8%. I was like, "You track that? Like, how are you tracking that?" And I remember my mum panicking, saying, "What the hell are you going to do? You ain't going to be a network marketer like your dad because you ain't got it. You're not that type of personality." So I went to another university, which is like one of the, I wouldn't say roughest universities in Liverpool, but it's definitely not a well-known, popular one. And I went to do construction management. Did that again, same thing. I was really introverted, really shy, really hard for me to make friends. And then I kind of studied further construction management. And the idea behind it was that I could build my own dream home. And then I realized about halfway through the degree, I was like, actually, I won't be building my own dream home. I'll be working for someone else's dreams, building other people's homes. And I don't want to do that. So that's when I decided, you know what, screw it. I'm going to get involved in network marketing. Why not? What's the worst that can happen? I've got this huge student debt of like $10,000 US, which is kind of nothing compared to the student debt people have now. But back then, I just wanted to make $300 a month. If I can make $300 a month, then after 3 years, I'll pay off my debt. I'll be debt free, and then I can start to save to put a deposit on a house, and then I can buy the house, and I can pay the mortgage off, and then I can retire at 60, and I just live a normal life. And it's just kind of crazy what happens when you just make the decision to maybe start small, but play big. So yeah, growing up was not fun. I had a lot of fun in different ways, but not whilst I was in school, and I was just extremely low confidence, low self-esteem. Just everything was on the low end. Everything was on the low end. Crazy times.
It's so funny because like I can kind of similarly relate. Like back when my whole before self-development, everything like that, it's not like I wasn't introverted or shy. It was just a lot easier to do that than to stand up and kind of, be seen, be extrovert. It's just easier. But you said, so your mum said to you, you didn't have that personality to be network marketer. What's that kind of look like? Because I know a lot of people, and a lot of people that kind of tune to this podcast as well. Some of them are in network marketing, a lot of them are entrepreneurs, and a lot of people actually also just trying to go and pursue their dreams. So not everybody even knows what network marketing is, but sometimes they might have heard about or heard that you have to be a type of personality to be in it. What was your mum kind of referring to when you said you don't really have what it takes?
So I literally, if the phone rang, my mum and dad always joke about this now. If the phone rang, I would leave the room and just pretend I needed to go to the toilet because I had a phobia of answering the phone. It was so bad that, like, imagine this, the phone rings, your mobile phone rings, and you're like, I can't answer it. And you run away from your phone. That's what I was like. So my mum was like, you've got to speak to people on the phone to be a network marketer, and you hate the phone. So like, how are you going to be a network marketer? And it was actually funny because my first job was a kitchen porter, right? We call them KPs in the UK, but kitchen porters. So I was washing pots and pans when I was 14, 15, 16 years old. And then one of my next jobs after working in a care home, like literally making elderly people their breakfast in the morning and their lunches, it was kind of weird. My mum actually got me a job in an estate agent. And the reason why, she said, listen, if you get this job, one thing you're going to have to do as an estate agent is meet people, show them a presentation, which is a house, and answer the phone. And I was petrified that first day. I think I missed that first day 3 times because I was sick on that first day, right? But eventually I did it, and it was probably the best thing that I've ever done because the skills that I learned there, I was able to transfer into network marketing. But yeah, massively introverted. I still am massively introverted. It's just I get myself into a completely different state when I'm on stage or when I'm doing podcasts or lives. But yeah, mum just really didn't think that I had what it took. It was kind of interesting.
Yeah. So do you think you've just developed? Do you think there's a type of personality you have to be to have success in network marketing, kind of anything? Do you think you become that, or do you think you just got good at kind of pushing the fears and knowing you need to do the things that you need to do?
The great thing about network marketing, and for the entrepreneurs out there, for the people who aren't in network marketing, and for the people who are in network marketing, I believe network marketing is a form of entrepreneurship, but I call it chicken entrepreneurship. So the reason I call it that is you may be too chicken to invest like $100,000 into a startup. But that doesn't mean it's not bad. That doesn't mean it's bad, right? It just means that it's a great way to start into entrepreneurship. And some people are like, you know what? This is where I want to finish. It's so freaking good. This is where I want to be. Some people use it as, right, I've got these skills, I've got this network, this is amazing, but I've always wanted to have my own restaurant. I've always wanted to have my own bar. I've always wanted to have my own gym. I've always wanted to have my own business. And they use the skills from network marketing. So any entrepreneur out there who gives network marketing, or tries to give it a bad name or a bad rep or says it's bad, I challenge you to think again, really, because all the big thought leaders are all big fans of it. Even if they say they're not, they invest in it, which is kind of fun.
It's so funny. Sorry, you go.
No. And personality. The great thing about network marketing is any personality can succeed. I think what the key fundamental is, I like to say there's 4 C's, and I believe there's 4 C's of building any entrepreneurship, or network marketing in particular, is you've got to be coachable. And if you're an entrepreneur and you haven't got a coach, I challenge you to go and get a coach, because it'll shortcut the time to success. You got to be coachable. You got to be committed. You don't just when NASA sends rockets into space, they don't go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, lift off, and then the rocket just goes, or the astronaut goes, actually, nah, I can't be asked. I can't be out. Nah, I'm not feeling it today. Tomorrow, yeah, should we go spend another few $100 million tomorrow? Yeah, okay, great. Nah. So you got to be coachable. You got to be committed. You got to be consistent, obviously. And I believe consistency happens when the vision aligns with the belief and the clarity and the plan that you have. A lot of people kind of want to be a 6-figure income earner, or a 7-figure income earner, an 8-figure income earner, a 9-figure income earner, but they don't believe in the plan that they've got to get there. They're like, oh, I don't think this is going to get me there, so they just don't do it. And the 4th C is the big one, and that's courage. You got to have that. You've got to have the courage to really step out your comfort zone. I don't necessarily believe in living out your comfort zone. I believe in stepping out of your comfort zone momentarily, and it takes courage to do that. So yeah, it doesn't matter the personality you are. You just got to have that courage to make a difference. Really, it takes time as well.
Yeah, like I got asked the other day. Someone said to me, "Well, we actually had a karaoke night here, at my local dance place the other day," and I just I used to be petrified at public speaking. I was never a good speaker, and so now, obviously through years of practice and whatever, so karaoke comes on, I'm like, hell yeah, I'm gonna get up. This is gonna be so funny. And right before we kind of get up, I took a shot, because I'm like, I'm so freaking nervous still. I don't want to get up there, but I know it's I go between this. I'm really scared to do it, but I know it's going to be, the reward's going to be so fun, And so then someone asked me after, how are you confident to get up there? I was not confident to get up there, but I took a shot, but then I took a step of courage, knowing that I'm just going to have that momentary push of that discomfort. And then just feel like, oh my God, that was so funny. I added to some value in the room. It was just good entertainment. You just had a good night. One day I'm going to die. I'm not going to look back at all the times I played it safe in life. I'm going to look back and be like, oh my God, remember that time I stood up and did that in front of all those people? It was so funny, It's just kind of that step of courage comes first, and then confidence follows.
Yeah, always.
And that's kind of just how it rolls. But take it back a second. You're talking about, some of the greats in this industry, and that I really like in the industry. Why does network marketing kind of get a bit of a bad name when you do have people like Bob Proctor? You got people like Tony Robbins. You got these kinds of people that not only back the industry, some of them actually build. And then not even mention like a Jim Rohn, the fact he made his first millions in network marketing. Why does it kind of get a bad rap?
I think people, first of all, the people who aren't involved, in my opinion, shouldn't be so strongly against it. If they haven't got involved in it, they haven't done it, they haven't truly understood the power of it. A lot of people see network marketing as an income opportunity, but it is so much more than that. It's the best place to build It's the best place to build a network of friends. It's the best place to feel confident. It's the best place to get positivity. It's the best place to learn more about you. It's the best place to get pushed out your comfort zone. It's the best place to get mentorship. It's the best place to build relationships, friendships, partnerships. It's crazy how great it is. I think the real bad reputation of it comes when the people who give it 5 minutes, right? The people who give it 5 minutes, they kind of go out and because no one blames themselves. No one goes, oh, network marketing, it works, but I didn't work at it because I quit at everything. No one ever says that. Just because your boyfriend or your girlfriend finishes after 37 seconds doesn't mean you should finish after 37 seconds, right? Like, come on. So don't blame other people. So the reputation comes, people don't give it long enough. I mean, like, just, you go to university, it takes 3, 4, 5 years to get a degree. Just because in network marketing, you don't have anyone to kind of tell you when you can and can't stop. I think that's where the big bad reputation comes, is from people who have joined the industry and left and told people like, yeah, I've done it before. Yeah, I've done it before. Yeah, I've done it before. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. I think the second thing is a lot of the people who are in entrepreneurship who don't like it. I think the great thing about network marketing is you're reliant on other people to be successful. I think it's one of the best things about network marketing. It's leverage. But one of the worst things about network marketing is you're reliant on other people to be successful. Right? So you recruit someone, you're like, come on, do the work, do it. And they're like, but you do it first. I'm like, no, I've already got my 3 who get 3, 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 who get 3. It's now your turn. And it's a bit, you're like, oh, my people aren't doing anything. They don't get it like I do. So the frustration can kind of set in. But the bad reputation 100% comes from people just not working at it long enough or hard enough. And yeah, they blame other people before they'll ever blame themselves.
Yeah, like I literally did a podcast on this, and the thing is this, we hear all the time, self-made millionaire, self-made billionaire, self-made this, self-made that. But you never, ever hear somebody say, I'm self-made mediocre.
Yeah.
I'm a self-made $50,000 a year earner. I'm self-made in debt. I'm self-made completely freaking lost. And you just said, like, people don't take 100% responsibility. And they're, and I do get it sometimes. Be like, I've done that. It doesn't work. Like, well, hang on a second. It didn't work or you didn't work? Mm-hmm. I know, actually, no, I just didn't really give it time. Okay. So let's call it what it is then. Right. Mm-hmm. But Frazer, I want to hear the story, because, so often along, not only just network marketing, any journey where you want to declare and say, this is what I want to create in my life. I want to become this. I want to do this. I want to have this. You're going to have so many people try and talk you out of it. And it's not always in a negative way. A lot of the time people actually just care for you and they're trying to say, no, it doesn't work like that. It's going to be done this way. You went across the exact same way, the exact same thing with your dad when you started this industry, right? Because you're like, I want to do it through social media. Mm-hmm. And you take us through the story of how he wasn't trying to hate on you or talk you out of it. He was more so like, no, Frazer, it's not done like that. Yeah. You want to share this with us?
Yeah, so I remember my dad kind of, when I was 18 years old, my 18th birthday, called me into his office. I thought he was going to give me a Rolex because I thought I was going to be the spoiled kid there. And he gave me my first presentation. He said, son, and he actually gave me this presentation. And I said no. And I don't really share this part of the story, but he said to me, listen, me and your mum have been giving you pocket money or like support or like, we've helped you invest in different things, like financially. Up until this point in your life, mum and dad made millions of dollars. So I was privileged enough to be in that position. I realized that not everyone is in that position. And I appreciate that. But he said, this is where it stops. You don't come to us for money. Don't come to us for pocket money. Don't come to us for a loan. Don't come to us to borrow a $5. Don't. But what I will do is I'll give you the skills and opportunity. If you say no, that's on you. So I said, Dad, I'm not doing it. 3 months later, followed up, said the exact same thing. 3 months later, he followed up with me 16 times. And then I was 22 years old. It was April the 8th, 2010. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I've been a student of this industry my entire life. I know everything about it that I believe. But I'm going to do it all on social media. My dad basically looked at me and was like, it doesn't work on social media. Go and find me a success story on social media and I'll support it. And I remember spending like 3 days just trying to look. I looked through books, on the internet. I looked on like websites, on blogs, on seminars. I couldn't find anyone. And I thought, well, if no one's been successful doing that, yes, I know success leaves clues and there's no success and there's no clues there. But surely there has to be someone who does it and gets started with it first. So I just went with it. My dad said, hey, do it the old school way first, and then I'll support you doing it in the new school way. And I just did it, mate. I just went hard. And I think it's because I had that. I think it's because I had my dad kind of saying like, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. That really pushed me. But now looking back.
He used it as the power to do it.
Yeah, man. And now looking back, I know my dad's such a smart mentor that he was doing that with the intention that he knew that I was going to try and prove him wrong. He's smart and stuff like that. So I think that's what happened. But yeah, I just decided to go big and go hard, and I believe if you go big and go hard and you ignore the outside noise and you ignore the haters, you're just gonna get the success. It just works 100% of the time for 100% of people who give it the time. It's just guaranteed if you guarantee that you're gonna put the effort in.
But it didn't work for you straight away though, right? So when you've got, your dad and you've got all of his top owners, right, sitting around saying, Frazer, it's not going to work. It's not going to work like that. And then you go out there and try to prove them wrong and it's not working. Do you not have moments where you're like, fire out, maybe I can't do this. Maybe they are right. What kept you going?
Vision. Like it was just, I just knew I'm big on vision. Like I'm so like, I don't just think like next year, 5 years, I think like 100 years, 200 years when I'm not even here. Because I believe your number one goal in life should not be accomplished when you're alive. Because they don't build statues of people based on the commissions you earn. They build statues on people based on the significance you make. So my vision back then was, no, I'm going to be the person who they write a book about, or they do a seminar on, or they do an event on, or they write blogs about, or they do podcasts on, because I was the first person to do it. And I want to be able to do that. So I get the pioneer results. I'm the first person to see the gold. I'm the first person to clean up. But also, people kind of mention my name when they're talking about social media. And that just kept me going. And I would say every week, every 7 days that went by, 6 days I wanted to quit, and seven and one I wanted to keep going. And it's just something that I heard a long time ago. I'm not too sure who said it, but it was probably when I was like 8 or 9. They literally said to me, don't quit on a bad day, you'll regret it. So I never allow myself to quit on a bad day, because you never quit on a good day. So I just condition myself to just be the most unstoppable non-quitter person that I'd ever come across. Yeah, kind of weird how it works out.
I love this, man. So then fast forward, you had massive success. Like fast forward, a team of 300,000, which for guys who aren't in network marketing, that's huge. That's definitely probably top of 1% of all network marketers. Massive. So then why'd you switch? Why'd you then go into coaching? And because then to kind of make that switch, you kind of leave that behind then, right? You can't have to close the doors next. You can't do the two at once. So what made you close that up and go into doing what you're doing now?
Well, yeah, because there's a bunch of people who do both, right? And I just don't believe that. It was actually a mutual friend of ours, Andrew Logan. He told me one day that hungry dogs run faster, through something that like an NFL interview or something that he heard he listened to, and it made me think like, yeah, it's right. So by resigning from a multiple 6-figure income without having to get out of bed, it was so deep that it was just growing and growing and growing. To be able to resign and actually literally take that income and go to zero was scary. But the problem I had, the issue I had, it was a great issue, was that leaders and companies from other companies and teams were coming to me and saying, listen, we've heard about the success that you've got. We've seen the success that you've had from social media. We want to transition into social media, and you're the only person that we know of and can find who's had the results. Taking me back years and years and years ago to when I couldn't find. Now they could. Yeah. The vision had come true. So I was like, I started to do some consultancy. I started to do some team training, some company trainings. And it got to the point where I was like, I don't feel like I can do this. It's not fair. I'm spending more time with other people's teams than I am my own teams. So I just think this is what I'm meant to do on this planet. I think this is what I've been put here to do. I think that I've been placed here to be a social media coach, trainer, and speaker. So I thought, you know what? Screw it. I'm young enough to do it now. If I don't do it now, I'll regret it. And I was sat in Salt Lake City, in a company office, and Bloomberg was on the TV. It was on the 8th of November, 2016. So for those of you listening in America, you might remember that date. I'm watching Bloomberg, the news thing, and all of a sudden it just flashes up. Breaking news, Donald Trump's elected as the next president of the United States. And I start laughing my head off. I'm like wetting myself with laughter.
I laughed as well.
You're like, what is going on? So I'm like, what is going on? This is absolutely ridiculous. And it triggered it to me. It said, today is a crazy day. I'm going to do something crazy. That's what I'm going to do. 2017, I'm just going to dedicate myself to giving value. And that's what I did. 2017, I'll be completely honest. And I don't share these numbers. I went from earning, I'm not going to say the exact number, multiple six-figure income to in 2017 making nothing till May. Like zero income for the first 6 months, basically, of 2017. And by the end of 2017, I was traveling around the world, all of this. I was doing a lot of events for free, and I probably made about $30,000. Take away my expenses, because I was paying for the travel, because I was literally proving myself, saying like, I will literally set your team on fire. Just give me the opportunity to do it. I probably made about $3,000 in 2017. And now it's 3, 4, 5 million plus.
Yeah. Is this because so would you say now you've actually this is your purpose? Would that be right?
100%.
Because it's go.
Yeah, no, like for me, as I talk about vision, I think vision is so important. My vision is to be the number one most valuable asset in network marketing. Mm-hmm. And I know like the people who are above me with that, the people who set the bar are Eric Worre and Jim Rohn. Am I going to accomplish it in my 40s, in my 50s, in my 60s, in my 70s? No. Will I accomplish it like Jim Rohn did after he passed? Probably, yeah. But that's it. Like how many people, like Jim Rohn once said, true success is determined by the number of times your name is mentioned in other people's success stories. And that's it. I want to be out. And it maybe sound like an ego thing, but it's not really. It's a selfish thing for me, but it's quite an unselfish thing that other people get the success based on what you've taught them. So yeah, vision's got to be big and long, man.
It's very interesting. I was literally thinking that exact same thing this week. It's like, what's the main thing that really drives me? It's like, I don't want to die and just be known to like a few hundred people, It's like, I want to, like, we're only here one time. And I often find myself, what drives me a lot is actually creating, and I was thinking this week, it's like, Morgan, you're being driven by significance, but that's, and I'm like, well, is it really like, let's say if I'm being driven by significance and I just want to be the best and be known for just being the wealthiest in the world or something, I think difference. But if your significance is being driven by, you can only achieve your goal if it's having a massive impact in other people's lives. Mm-hmm. I think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, for me, two things that I think is more important. I think a lot of people focus on becoming a higher performer, but high performance is linked to your personal performance, right? Like you have a personal best, right? You got to beat your personal best. You got to lift more than you've lifted before. You earn more than you've ever before. You've got to do all this. I believe value and trust are even bigger. When someone can trust you, and you can bring value to other people, that's when people look at you and go, wow, role model, hero, legend, legacy, follow this person, follow this person, follow this person. It's not the person who makes the most, it's the person who gives the most and you can trust the most. Mm-hmm. Simon Sinek has a great training on this. He says that he worked with the Navy SEALs, and apparently the Navy SEALs are the most efficient unit on the planet and everything. They're just the most efficient. Like their return rates are just like bigger than anything else. And he said that when asked, like, who would you want to like fight against? Would you want to fight against like the highest performers, the best shooters, or the people you trust the most? They would say, I prefer the guy who's the worst on the team in terms of shooting, but the best on the team in terms of trustworthy, because I'm going to fight. I'm going to have to trust him with my life. Not trust the guy next to me can shoot 20 people in a second. No, that this guy will jump in front of a bullet for me. And it's just a great kind of point of view of like, wow, yeah, what trust can we bring to the market? What value can we bring to the marketplace? Those are the two things we need in order to create that significance.
I love it, man. I'm super mindful of our time on this. But I got one second last question actually, but how, obviously you can't do what you do without being a massive advocate for network marketing and just what it does. Why are you such an advocate for the industry?
I mean, I've grown up around it. So like it's my entire life. My network marketing career started before I was born. So I've grown up. It's all I know. Like most people won't kind of be able to compute this or understand this. But 99% of the conversations I've had with my dad as an adult, honestly, have been network marketing. I mean, I maybe talk to him for about 5 minutes about football, right? That's about it. All the rest, even on my wedding day, we were talking network marketing, right? We just were, because I'm just so, it's all I know. It's what I know I'm good at. It's what I know other people need to become good at, and people need to understand. And I just know that, hey, I'm so naturally passionate about it. I wake up in the morning, I'm like, network marketing, let's go. Whereas a lot of people need to get fired up about it. And I just want to be that catalyst. I want to be that spark that helps people get fired up, really. I just love it, man. I just love it. You cut my wrists, blood doesn't come out. Network marketing does for sure. Like legit.
What's
like,
network marketing look like? Just circles and
yeah, mate. Just like a lot of like deep red.
I love it. You know, like the thing with this is, you know, I think the biggest thing I love about it, you know, and obviously all my success I've created is through network marketing. Is you can't actually articulate what it really does for people. Like it's really like a self-development industry with a compensation plan attached to it. You can only get paid to the amount you grow. So that's kind of what I love about it, but it's hard to kind of show that, you know, it's only the people who knew you before and see where you are now. It's like, damn. Right. But man, this has been freaking fire. I know you've got to run, but where can everybody find you, buy your books, follow you on social media and all of that?
Yeah, so I have a podcast. It's called Network Marketing Ninja Podcast. That's probably a good place to start if you like podcasts. I also have Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, FrazerBrookes.com. I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere on that. It's FrazerBrookes. So, mate, I'm super grateful for the chance to be able to be on here. I love what you're doing here. I think the great thing is that long after you stop creating content one day, or when you leave this earth, whatever, people will still be able to go and hear your voice and be like, wow, those lessons and learns that he was doing in the beginning were just straight up fire. Progression creates inspiration. And I think people who are listening have got to ask themselves the question, what are you doing to progress every single day in your life?
I love it. That's powerful, man. All right, to wrap this up, I've got one final question for you. Are you ready?
Yeah.
If you were to go back to your 18-year-old self and give him 30 seconds of advice, what would it be?
Join now. Don't say no. Go harder, faster, better, stronger, because the compound effect's real. And I'm 4 years behind where I should have been. So yeah, get started sooner.